It looks nice enough. And like I said, we've got 3 storage ports here. These here, I'm pretty sure, are your other storage. So these are SSDs. So if you've got a normal old-fashioned SSD drive, you can put more storage connected here. You just plug them in and then put them behind the case. They're a bit old, but at the bottom of the case, really, where they cover. It depends on your case. But these ones here, these little covers, these will be where your M.2s are. So you've got the little sticks about that long, and they just literally slot in, and they've got a little screw on the end. You tie it down, and it keeps it straight, it keeps it flat, and keeps it placed. But this one, like I say, it's got 3 of them. It's got one here, one here, and one here. This one is your graphics one. I think this one might be for a secondary graphics card as well, but that's not as popular nowadays. It used to be you can have 2 cards and you can get like really good performance. There's SLI they call it, but there's no need for that anymore. They're so powerful. These little slots here, the little mini ones, I used to have a TV tuner back in the day, so you could have you could record TV channels. So you could do that on them. They can get sound cards, capture cards. So it's things that are not high powered. We don't need a huge bus speed. So these ones here, like fast bus speeds, so obviously it's a lot of data being processed quickly, which is graphics. Graphics cards need that. These are slower data channels, and they use less space on the board. So like they're just for smaller, really, things. And usually you've got your little pins down here. So if you look here, this is how you connect the front of the case. So let's say you put the case on, there might be an LED light that tells you the power's on. There might be an LED light that tells you the hard drive's being used, so it'll keep flashing. You might have USB sockets at the front. You need to plug them in. You might have like a headphone socket where you want to plug headphones in. That'll all be along here, the little headers. That's what they've got here. I can only go so far with this. I don't know if I can zoom in a bit more. It's not going to have it, is it? Oh, it might do. It's gone a bit wonky. I'm pretty sure the SBIF one, it might be the audio. Can't see this one. Not sure if that says fans. So you're going to find fan ones as well. So you can have fans around your case. You can have a CPU fan, which should be up here. Normally it's here, the little CPU fan header. I think it's that one. There's this little header, look here. So you put your CPU on there, and if you've got the air cooling fan one, you'd then connect it into this one. You're going to have fans at the back here. So you've got your fans here on the case. And there's CPU. There's a CPU pin here. So that's going to be to power the. I'm not sure if that one's to that one. That does say CPU there, so I think that's to do. That might be where your fan goes to the CPU. I'm actually getting a bit confused here because this is supposed to be an AMD board. If I'm not wrong, I might be wrong, I might be right. But why does it say LGA1718? I'm pretty sure LGA is what Intel use for their boards. Strikes B650. I'm pretty sure B650s and things are Ryzen though. So then what's the LGA1718? Because normally those numbers, the LGAs, are normally Intels, and Intel is not our Ryzen. A board can only be Ryzen or Intel, AMD or Intel. I might have to look that up because now I'm seeing this. Oh, you've got this pump here as well. Look, I think there might be that might be for the cooler. The pump that goes round with your water cooling. So that's pretty cool. You've got another header one here, CPU something. This is where your main power block. So when you plug your power, so when you've got your power supply at the bottom of the case, you usually get one. You get a big pin, a big long one. See if I can find it in here. We just do it a little bit. We just talk a little bit. Although this isn't for those that do computer building, and some people do become know-it-alls, don't they? They try and tell you where you're doing it wrong when you've been doing it for years. You see if I can find this. So some of them are modular, where you can put. This one isn't. This one's a mess. Right, house cable. Right. Some of these are modular, right? So you can get on the back where this comes out, you can literally put the cables in you need. So you might have less ports and things. You don't need all this wiring dangling around your case. You might only need like 4. But this one's got them all on here, and it's a right mess. But as you can see here, this one. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. But this is the longer one out of all the cables. That's the one that would go into that port there. And then there should be a smaller one. We can find it. Right, where's the other one then? Can't just be one. Normally you get 2. You get that one, and then you get this 4-pin one. because that's there. There should see at the top here, at the top now here. That's where the other one would go here. From my understanding, I'm not sure what the hell's going on. It should just be that one goes there. Oh, this is it. Was that power? Oh, that's PCIe. I think that's for the graphics card. Where's the other one? Oh, here. CPU. Good one, mate. So I thought that. I thought you're going mental. What's going on? So this one here, this is for your graphics cards because some graphics card comes with like 4-pin. Like, there's a 6-pin there. You can make it 8, but some of them come with just 1 pin that it goes in. So that's your power. Some of them, a lot of them come with 2, especially high end ones. So you're going to need both of these. But it looks tacky, so you can buy set. You can buy a different set. If it's modular, this ain't modular, so I'm not sure how you would do that unless you can get an extension of that. But this one here, I just had it. Was it this one? No, this one here. It says CPU on it. So they do get labeled in some power supplies. But this one's got 2 4-pins. So you can see it there. Oh, let's do it here. Here? It would go in that. I'm not sure what that one there is. We'd have to read it. You do get a manual usually, so you can just sort of like figure it out. But effectively, doing the basic form, when you're putting it together, you know you need the main power to the board because this is what powers the board, the motherboard. So we want that one powered up, so the motherboard's working. Then we need to add power to the CPU, which is going to be the CPU one. Then we need power to the graphics card. And then you can have all these other little ports, these other little ones. These are going to be for your, if you've got an SSD drive, for instance, and you haven't got the M.2s, you've got a physical one, you know, where it plugs in. You're going to plug this in and you're going to plug the SATA cable into the motherboard. So you do that. If you had a disk drive back in the day, you might have a disk drive, you'd plug that into the disk drive. And they've got different styles. That's really all they are for. It's quite simple. The annoying part is usually that one. I think is the sound card because it looks a bit longer. So if you've got, I'm pretty sure that is normally sound ones goes at the bottom, but it doesn't look like it's there. It does look like it's up there, if I'm right. You get oh no, that might be the USB ones. But anyway, the front of usually your case comes with a load of little what do you call them, like pin things, like you just hook them on. So whether you've got all these little pins, it's the alternate. It's got little slots, little holes in it, and that one would be very obvious. It would be like a little bit that's a bit longer, and it would fit in this. And I think actually it might be for USBs, for the front USB ports. I think it might be actually. See what I said about this is your storage. That's what that says, SATA. But what used to happen on my motherboard, for instance, when I had one before, these are the first gen, I guess, of the M2s. When you put an M.2 in, it would shut off a couple of rows of these SATA slots. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, for the love of God. I've been doing that. You probably couldn't see it the whole freaking time. I'm talking about these things over here, and you probably couldn't see any of it. You can't even see the thing on the board now, can you? What's going on? This is the SATAs where you put your storage. You probably couldn't even see me doing the thingy now. This is where the power supply goes in to powers your board. This is the pins I was talking about putting your the USB connectors from the front of the case go in here. You've got a CPU header there. I'm not sure if that's for the fan, but then I think one of these should be for the fan. And we've also got this here, which is usually a fan one as well. There should be fan ones around here. Yeah. Chassis fan here. Look, it says chassis, CHA fan. Don't know if you see that. Oh, here, yeah, it's chassis fan. That'll be for the side one. So when you put the board in, and then you've usually got an extraction fan at the back of the case, that one would go into this little pin here. Yeah, it looks more technical. It is when you've done it enough times. If you ever find your clock keeps going off on your computer, let's say you turn the computer on, or you turn it on and it always goes to this little thing where you've got to press enter to start the computer or something, because it always says check some lost or check some, something. It's literally just telling you that it's forgot something. It's because this needs changing, your little battery. They call it CMOS battery or Cosmos. I don't know. It's CMOS. It's that battery, because what that does, that saves all your BIOS information. So when that's in, it'll remember the time and everything. If that goes, you might find your BIOS keeps getting reset, and it could cause all sorts of problems. You definitely lose the clock. So if you ever just lose the clock and you get them problems, all it is a battery change. It's really not a big deal. And it's going to go at some point. So especially during the lifetime. But like I say, all the port, like your audio and USB things that go in here. Your power supply. You know when you press the power button on your computer, that has to go to one of these as well. Some places, some of them give you stupid little pin things that are an absolute nightmare dealing with, especially if you do it, which most people do. Once you've put your motherboard in, it's really hard to get your hands in. So you might be off doing that before that you actually screw it in. And the other thing is, which is confusing, is here when you put your memory in. So I've got these. Oh, you can't see now because the camera, but I've got these. What you do, you'd naturally want to put them next to each other. I don't know if they've changed the way it is. I think they have. Where they've got, yeah, they're showing it here. See this little diagram here? I don't know if you can see it. They're trying to tell you, because they've got this little line thing, it's telling you the order to put them in. Because you've got two, you would naturally might think, put it here, and then put it here. They're next to each other. That's not what you're supposed to do with RAM, because they call it dual channel. So you'd put one memory, you put one in this slot here, which is the second slot. From my understanding, I've got to do research just in case things have changed since. But from my understanding, you put it in this one, and then you put it in the last one. And that's why they've got this little diagram here, this little link diagram, which is pointing towards A2 goes into B2. I think that's what it is. Or you do A1 to B1. But my understanding is you do it this one here and the back one. And that'll give you the best performance with your memory. And I think a lot of people probably don't even know that. But then, you know, I've been building computers for about 15, 20 years. So things change. And I haven't been building them for like 2 years. So things can change quite rapidly. And I might be out of touch, such as. But all the other stuff, yeah, it's just common. It's just stuff it's just granted. The other thing is make sure that you're not, the motherboard isn't sitting flush against the chassis of the case. They usually come on these little pin things that prop it up a little bit. Because if you over tighten these screws, all these little screw holes, it can short circuit the board. So you might find your computer don't turn on and you're thinking, why the hell, what's broke now? You might just have to loosen the screws a little bit. As simple as that. Because it's just shorting the board out. It's a strange thing. But for the most part, that's it. Yeah. And it does, the other thing is, if you find you do all that, you connect your power, your monitor cable and you don't get a signal, it might very well be the motherboard at the back end here. I don't know if I can get a picture up. Let me see if we can do this. I think that's the best we're going to get. This will be better. So here, we've got HDMI and DisplayPort. So that's going to be your video signals. But that's only if your CPU has a built-in graphics chip. Now, if you're buying a high-end CPU, it won't have graphics built in because you're going to have it because it knows you're going to want to put your own graphics card in. So when you put your graphics card in, then you would plug the monitor cable to that. So plugging it into these to a system that doesn't have integrated graphics, it will not display anything. If you buy a cheaper system that has integrated graphics, then it will play out there. So if you let's say you've got a graphics card, you've got no integrated chip here because you've got a really powerful computer, and then you plug it in there because you think that's where to go, and you don't get a signal, it's because there's literally no video signal going there. There's nothing. This chip does not display a video signal. So that is irrelevant, you know. So the motherboard's there just for everybody, isn't it? It's not just for you. It's just sort of for everybody. It's for everybody to have their own setup. So if someone was to buy a different chip, it would work. But ultimately, if you're going to have a high-end system, that's no good. Anyway, that's a little bit of I guess a computer building lesson if anyone was interested. But here I am. I have the knowledge. I just don't have the hardware.